Bank employees take to the streets. They say enough is enough. Bank unions across India stage massive protests against the centre's demonetization drive. 2 days to the central government's self-set 50-day deadline, the cabinet approves an ordinance proposing a fine for the possession of old notes after the 31st of March next year. The Mumbai development plan gets delayed yet again. Maximum City will have no plan until the middle of next year. The city has already been without a plan since the year 2012. As the demolition drive continues in Bengaluru, big builders have come under the scanner. RTI activist claims that Mantri Developers has allegedly encroached over stormwater drains. Will Bengaluru's civic body, the BBMP, take action now? Hello and welcome. You are watching The Big Story here on Magic Bricks Now. I'm Krishna Kumar. 48 days of demonetization, and now the bank employees say enough is enough. Bankers all across the country are the latest addition to the list of those who are vocally unhappy with the government's note ban move. In fact, the All India Bankers Association has called a nationwide agitation to register their protest against the troubles caused due to demonetization. Bank employees claim that the government is maintaining that there is enough cash in the system, but in reality, no cash is reaching the banks. This in turn is causing problems for the banks and eventually creating trouble for customers like you and me. My colleague Amita Balachandra gets us this ground report from Mumbai. Take a look.
Ever since the demonetization move 50 days ago, government employees, bank employees, of course, tell us that they are the most neglected of the lot in this entire exercise. And the fact that they have been left in the lurch, right here you will see that several bank employees have assembled outside the RBI at this point in time, protesting against the fact that there isn't enough cash in the system, and that if this continues, it's going to be a harrowing experience again in January 2017. Just a couple of days to go for that. The same thing happened in December 2016 is what they tell us. They also tell us at this point in time that the RBI is not making sure that there is enough cash in the system, which is why they have to leave several customers or the general public in the lurch, and they have to attend to harried customers for no fault of their own. They're having to turn away several customers, sick customers, customers who are in dire need of money, and they cannot do anything about that, which is why they've also written a letter to the RBI at this point in time, asking them to make sure that there is enough cash in the system by January 2017.
From day one, that is 10th of November till this day, RBI has not provided enough cash to the banking system. You are now in the Fort area of Mumbai. Here, even today, the RBI is saying that we have provided cash, but we say the banks have not been provided cash.
We have to say no number of times, because our regular customer, now they are facing so many problems they are facing. So when there is a shortage of cash, what can we say ना?
ये सारे कस्टमर्स आते हैं, लेकिन बहुत सारे रिस्ट्रिक्शन से हर कस्टमर को कैश बांटने के लिए बैंकों के अंदर कैश ही नहीं है। और इसका कारण क्या हुआ है, लोगों को अपना पैसा नहीं मिलने के कारण लोगों को खुद गुस्सा जो आता है वो बैंक एम्प्लॉयज के ऊपर आता है। डिफरेंट प्रॉब्लम से कोई मरीज बीमार होगा तो भी उसको नोट नहीं दे सकते, क्योंकि उनके अंदर रिस्ट्रिक्शंस लगे हुए। जो बिजनेसमैन है उनको भी हम पैसा नहीं प्रोवाइड कर सकते। छोटे छोटे कामों के लिए भी पैसा अवेलेबल नहीं है, क्योंकि हमारे पास है ही नहीं।
Bank employees' massive agitation against the demonetization drive is indeed the big story. And to take that forward, we're now being joined in our studios by Mr. Vishwas Utagi, President of the All India Bank Employees Association. Mr. Utagi, thank you so much for taking time out to be with us here on the Big Story and Magic Bricks. Now, I'm going to start with a very simple, straightforward question to you. Day in, day out, we have representatives of the government, be it the finance minister or be it the governor of RBI. These two are not two different poles apart in a sense. But at the end of the day, we have both the RBI heads and the finance minister and many representatives of the government telling us that there is enough cash in the system. There is enough cash in the system. Do not panic. Do not panic. Do not hoard cash because there is enough cash in the system. As the president of the All India Bank Employees Association, Give us a simple answer. Is there enough cash in the system now with 2 days to go for the 50-day deadline?
For last 40 days, Reserve Bank of India being the regulator of the banking system, we have seen that they are unable to provide enough cash to the banking system. They have not provided cash to cooperative banking system, including district cooperative banks. They have provided more cash to the private sector banks, including Axis Bank and HDFC Bank and ICICI Bank. Whereas in comparison to private sector bank, they have not provided enough cash to public sector banks. This is number one. And all throughout, their cash was inadequate, it was irregular and totally not suffice for the purpose of implementing demonetization scheme. Initially, all the political parties, all the trade unions have said that we are here to implement the demonetization scheme. However, regulator has failed the banking system by not providing the cash, and that's why today's mess. So it is a failure of the regulator and not the banking system as such. Today, there was not enough cash, or there was totally inadequate cash in the banking system.
Mr. Utigi, I want to just clarify this. You're saying that the fact that banks, especially public sector banks and district cooperative banks, that they do not have enough cash now is the failure of the regulator, that is the Reserve Bank of India, right? That's what you're saying. Because the RBI on its own, including Mr. Governor Urjit Patel, has been telling us that there is enough cash in the system.
See, why Urjit Patel or all his assistants should not adopt a system that how much cash they have deployed in the banking system, each bank, each city, each currency chest, they have got a record right from 10th of November to till this day. Why they should not announce it on their website? Because as a media, if you ask them a question, they say, go to my website. As a RTI man, if I ask a question, as a bank employee, if I ask a question, they say, we have got enough cash. So RBI is fooling the entire nation by not providing the enough cash to the banking system. And now you find that more cash is available in the private sector bank, and most particularly the notorious Axis Bank. We have demanded why action should not be taken against the Axis Bank and why Axis Bank license should not be cancelled, because most of the 2,000 rupees pink notes have been found in bulk on Axis Bank platform, which is money laundered. And now 500 rupee notes and 1,000 rupees having cancelled, having demonetized, you find that hoarding is being done in the pink notes of 2000. So this is the evidence of the private sector bank platform is used for the hoarding of the big 2,000 rupee high value notes. So that's why we say the private sector bankers are playing foul. And during the JPC, that is a Harshad Mehta period, foreign banks had played foul. During that time, private sector banks were not there. Now we find the private sector banks are playing foul. RBI is patronizing them. Even we found the RBI people are indulging in transferring the notes to the private sector banks in a most conniving way. And that's why most of the cash which has been held by the enforcement of director is found in RBI and private sector banking system. That's why I'm saying RBI has to put everything on their website, then the cat will be out of the bag and RBI bureaucracy will get themselves exposed, because today they have to say how much cash they have sent it in the banking system. We from the All India Bank Employees Association, we from the All India Bank Officers Association, we say the RBI has not given enough adequate and regular cash to the banking system. They did not provide us any kind of a security. In some of the places in North and Eastern India, bank managers have been beaten blue and there was no security available. So our people have died within the banking. Bank customers have been died in the queues. Where is the compensation from the government of India for those who have died within the bank and those who have died in the line? So is it not the RBI is responsible or their mismanagement of the currency? That's my question.
But Mr. Utigi, I have several questions to ask you. One is that you're staging this protest with 2 days to go for the self-set deadline. Why now? I mean, I'm sure from November 8th till now, the stress was far higher in the first couple of weeks than it is now, isn't it? Or hasn't the stress eased by now, or is it just the same as the first couple of weeks of November?
See, when 2,000 notes flowed in, almost rapidly from 10th November, initially it was only 2,000 notes.
Okay.
Then gradually after 5th day, 500 note came. Till today we have not seen 1,000 rupee note. Now, in effect, total cash is very short. I can say not more than 6 lakh crore new cash has been dumped in the banking system. Whereas the old cash has returned back to the extent of 14.5 lakh crores. And how much money, new money will come in next 2 days? It is only the RBI has to tell. My question to the Reserve Bank of India and to the Government of India, whether really the new notes are going to come in next 2 days, and whether this 24,000 rupees restriction for withdrawal in 1 week is going to be lifted after 30th. Another, all the ATMs will be full of cash if you supply the good new notes to the banking system
Mr. Uttagi.
in 2 days. These are the questions I'm asking, because for all these things, RBI should be held responsible for all that mismanagement.
Mr. Uttagi, those are exactly the same questions that's there on everybody's minds. Will the restrictions lift post the 30th or 31st of December? That's the reason why demonetization is indeed the big story here today, with bank employees going on protests across the country. In fact, as per rough estimates, nearly 3 lakh bank employees are up in arms across the country. First up, now take a look at this report we got from New Delhi.
These are the bank employees who are protesting all across the country today, and they are, reiterating, they are saying on the grounds that the bank employees are not getting enough cash from the RBI, from the government, to actually give to the customers, and this is the reason why the bank employees have today protested in the national capital. And in fact, it seems that the situation is only going to get more worse from here, as the current currency is not being provided in the banks, because of which not only are the customers suffering, but it is also the bank employees. This is Deepa Rana for Magic Bricks Now in New Delhi.
Today, the customers are angry with the bank employees, as if bank employees are responsible for the troubles which they are facing. It is because of the government, and RBI is not supplying the sufficient cash to the bank's branches.
जब हमें सप्लाई नहीं मिली कैश की और हमारा कस्टमर परेशान हुआ, इस देश का नागरिक परेशान हुआ, तो हमने डिमांड करी कि हमें सफिशिएंट सप्लाई दी जाए, और उसके बाद एक्सपोज होते हैं कि इनके पास सफिशिएंट सप्लाई देने के लिए मनी प्रिंटेड ही नहीं है.
In some of our branch in Central Bank, the glass pan doors were broken by the customers, angry customers, because we are not in a position to give them money.
The banks are not provided with the adequate supply, as the government has confessed in public also that out of 14,86,000 crores, they have printed only 1/3 of the currency. Then how a mathematical equation says that when money is not there, how it can be supplied in the adequate manner to the customers?
मैं आपको विश्वास दिलाते हैं, बैंक कर्मचारी खड़े हो चुके हैं, अधिकारी खड़े हो चुके हैं, गवर्नमेंट को घुटने टेकने पड़ेंगे.
So that's the situation as far as the protests in New Delhi is concerned. We're talking about the All India Bank Employees Association going on strike, protesting against the demonetization drive now publicly, and that's because they claim that despite the Reserve Bank of India claiming that there is enough cash in the system, there is enough supply of currencies in the system, there actually isn't, and that is the ground reality. And it is the bank employees who are bearing the brunt of customer complaints, customer anger, and that's the reason why we have the president of the All India Bank Employees Association, Mr. Vishwas Uttagi, still with us here in our studio. Mr. Uttagi, another simple question, factual question: is there enough currency in the system, or rather, has all of the old money been converted into the new currencies? Do we have it in the system as of now?
So that is not a situation. As I said, in the entire currency, there must be 17.5 lakh crores currency. Now, 500 rupee notes and 1000 rupee notes, its value was 86% and its volume was 25%. Now, this 86%, whether it has come back or not, that RBI has to say. What they say is around 15 lakh crores, the money has come back. That means another 1 lakh or 2 lakh crore yet to come. This is one situation. But as far as new notes are concerned, not beyond 6 lakh crores has come. So what is the situation? If new notes are going to substitute the old notes, whether the new notes are ready for the RBI?
Mr. Uttagi, are you telling me that nearly 10 lakh crores of new currency is yet to enter the system?
I suppose it should enter.
Okay, but it hasn't so far. And
It has not so far. Only 2 are left. RBI has to explain. Government has to explain. There is one statistics from the government which says total currency was 20 lakh plus crore. Now here RBI says it is 17 lakh crore plus. So there is a difference between them. And if you see that 15 lakh crores which has come in the system, that means there is a difference of 5 lakh crores. So who should answer? They don't answer the RTA queries. They only say that on the 8th November, there were new notes to the extent of around 5.5 lakh crores. Lakh crores.
All right, Mr. Udigi, at this stage, I want to understand, what exactly are your plans in terms of your protests? So today is when the agitation has begun, and it's happened across cities, Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, and other cities as well. What are your plans from here on? Are you planning to approach the Reserve Bank of India? Are you planning to meet Governor Urjit Patel?
For the last 50 days, we are trying to win the customers all over India. And that's why dedicatedly the bank employees have worked under the banner of All India Bank Employees Association, All India Bank Office Association. Now the question is, having served so much, if the government of India is talking, media is talking that because of few bank employees who have been caught in the Reserve Bank of India, because of few bank employees caught in the Axis Bank platform or the private sector bank platform, why you want to blame the whole system? I mean, that is public sector banking system. In fact, the public sector banking system has played the pivotal role in implementing the demonetization scheme in spite of the failure of the Reserve Bank of India. Now, my question is, after 30th, can RBI ensure that 24,000 rupees ceiling will be lifted? I am not to answer. I am going to implement whatever RBI says. But RBI has to say, today they don't have a confidence to say that yes, we shall improve the cash. My only demand is you improve the cash to the banking system, and in between, whatever there are leakages in the 4,000 currency chest, more particularly in the private sector bank, why don't you cancel the license of Axis Bank and HDFC Bank? Those who have played foul and they have been found wanting in implementing the demonetization scheme, and why they should not be punished. RBI will punish them only monetarily, but what we demand is the action on Axis Bank and more particularly HDFC Bank, because they have played foul, and up to the next 6 months, I think there will be many more raids conducted by the Enforcement Directorate, and that should happen. That is necessary because 500 and 1,000 rupee notes are now converted into 2,000 hoarding, and that is easy for the hoarding, and all these hoarded money are with the big politicians, big bureaucrats, big corporates, and they are the real person who has hoarded the black money. And I think next step should be the yellow metal where the money has been converted. Next step should be the land where the money has been deployed. All these things which are the real area of black money. Black money in the currency is very less. That is the statement of RBI. But the black money which is there in the black economy, that should be targeted, and there should be a surgical strike on that black money, according to me, which is something like 90 to 95 lakh crores in India and abroad, including Panama Papers. So there should be surgical strike on that kind of a black economy. Black currency in the entire currency, black cash in the entire currency is very negligible, and that's why the goalposts are being shifted by the government and by the RBI. So don't shift the goalposts, catch hold of the wrong things, bring the black money entirely to the mainstream. We shall welcome that situation, but don't blame the bank employees. Bank employee has played a very dedicated, very honest and very patriotic role in performing in the banking system. The banking system in India has played its very important role, but now RBI has failed the system.
That's right. It's the honest outpouring of bank employees in this country. I'm sure, Mr. Udigi, there had to be extra shifts and normal extra working hours, going into it at the demonetization drive as well. All of your employees in your association have all been overworked over the last 50 days, haven't they?
Please repeat.
All right. You know what? Right now, let's listen to what the Assistant General Manager of Indian Bank in Connaught Place, New Delhi, told our reporter. Take a look.
So just a few days left for the demonetization. How do you see the rush at the banks and the ATMs for withdrawal and deposits?
As far as the branch is concerned, rush has come down. You must have seen downstairs. Probably almost 10 to 50% people are there now. The ATM, because still a little bit queue is there. The reason being, some of the ATM in the CP area, the outer circles, are not yet started functioning. That is the only reason there is a little long queue. Other within the branch, rush has gone, almost gone. For the deposit of SBNs, very few people are coming every day. Only for payments people are coming, and we are providing the cash to the people, whatever as per the RBI guidelines we are supposed to give them out.
So regarding the cash limit, can we see that there could be any ease out on the cash limit from RBI? What in your opinion would be
actually, that is to be a call to be taken by them. I don't have any reply on this.
Okay, so this lines, queues outside ATMs, do you think it will ease out if there is a gradual ease out on the limit, on the withdrawal limit? People are allowed to withdraw more money?
Yeah, probably. In case the people are allowed to withdraw more money, but 24,000 already sufficient limit. From the ATM, it is only 2,500. The ease out will be in case the more ATMs start functioning. That is my view. In case more ATMs start functioning, the line will ease out. Otherwise, increasing in limit will not affect the lines.
As a banker, what do you think? What can we expect after 31st December from the 1st January onwards? Because Prime Minister had said 50 days of inconvenience. What would be the...
No, as of now, the situation is under control and it is eased out. Not much of rush is there. I think it will be normal after 30th.
So you are expecting things to get normal?
Yeah, definitely. It should be normal after 30th.
Okay. So you don't feel like there would be any ease out, no information on the ease out of withdrawal limits?
No, we don't have any information on the withdrawal limit. As and when it comes, we will have to follow the guidelines. As far as RBI gives us any instruction, as a banker, I am supposed to follow.
So it's very clear that the Indian Bank senior employee also has no idea what's going to happen once the deadline of December 30th, 31st is done with. Will the withdrawal limits in ATMs be increased? Will the general withdrawal limits be increased? Somebody who's an AGM at Indian Bank, Assistant General Manager at Indian Bank, doesn't know what's going to happen come December 30th. Mr. Wutiki, do you know what's going to happen come December 30th? Are you just going to, like one fine on December 30th morning, you'll get a directive from RBI saying that to hike limits or to keep limits the same? That's how you operate so far.
Frankly speaking, next 2 days will be the same days like 48 days. Because RBI has to spell out all those things. And since they are tight-lipped, we are on agitation saying that RBI should spell out all those things. And that's why we have said on 2nd January, all over India, we shall have a dharna program. And in the new year, at least let us see what RBI says. And if the RBI doesn't open their mouth, and customers, if they still do not find that 24,000 ceiling is lifted, and if they find that ATMs do not have the cash, because unless RBI gives me cash, I cannot put the cash in ATM. In that case, the people of India will be with us on 2nd Jan for the dharna all over India, and I think bank employees will decide a line of action. All India Bank Employees Association is meeting in its national conference at Chennai on 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. And there, all the 3,500 delegates will decide what should be the next course of action. It can be an all India strike at the end of Jan also, but that will be our decision of our conference. And that will be in the interest of all those banking customers we are fighting.
Mr. Wutiki, so you're telling me that the 8th, 9th and 10th is going to be an All India Bank Employees Conference in Chennai, where you will take a decision of whether you're going to go on a nationwide strike by the end of January. And on the 2nd of January, which is days from now, you plan to stage a dharna. Can you talk to us about that? Where exactly is it going to be? Bombay, Delhi, Bengaluru? How do you plan to stage this dharna?
Normally, whenever we hold the dharnas in all the state capitals, we have to seek the police permission.
Yes.
In the city of Mumbai, we always go for the dharna in Azad Maidan. In Delhi, of course, it is Jantar Mantar. In every state capital, in every district, we seek the police permission and we hold the dharna. And this time, dharna will be the massive one everywhere. Thousands of the bank officers and the employees will be joining us. And not only that, all the trade unions under the banner of most of the central unions are there.
Alright.
They will be joining us during this dharna.
Alright.
They have the full support with us.
So January 2nd, there is going to be a dharna, which means that there will be shutdown of banking operations on the 2nd of January as well?
No.
Alright.
We don't have any intention to shut down the banking operation because we want to win the customers.
Yes.
We are here to serve the people.
Okay.
There is no intention of going on strike only for the sake of strike. No.
Okay.
First, we want to say that RBI must provide the cash and we are here to serve the people and that is the first and last aim of our bank employees. Strike is not the aim. Strike will be resorting only subsequently.
By the end of January.
That is also... One single person cannot decide.
Yes.
It can be the decision of the conference and that will be duly deliberated. It will not be for the strike action. It is a voice of the nation. We'll have to do it. And we are fighting not just for the bank employees. In fact, bank employees have not been paid overtime for which they have worked on Saturday and Sundays. There the Indian Banks Association and the bankers chiefs have to reply and they have to pay whatever is due for the bank employees and the officers for working for 50 days beyond their working hours.
All right. Quickly, let's now also listen to some bank employee voices coming in from Bengaluru.
Entire thing is now out of gear and bank employees are put under undue pressure. ATMs are closed, no currency. Currencies are not supplied to the bank branches, and in the bank branches we are being blamed for not giving the adequate cash to the customers.
The government is telling we have already distributed 6 lakh crores of amount, but 6 lakh crores of rupees are majority of them are 2,000 rupee notes. 2,000 rupee notes value wise it's more. But when we consider this one total, the usage of this one, 2,000 note nobody wants.
The cash supplied by the RBI to the banks were not sufficient at all. It was very, very less. And we used to close our counters even in the half the day because of the no cash at us.
Fresh cash is not coming in the form of 10s, 50s or 20s. So we are unable to give their requirement. So anger falls on the bankers.
The anger falls on the bank employees. We still have Mr. Vishwas Utegi, President of the All India Bank Employees Association. I have one last thing to ask you, Mr. Utegi. Ever since the demonetization drive was announced on the 8th of November, from the 10th of November till now, the Reserve Bank of India has issued 56 clarifications. Since then, how do you keep up with that? 56 clarifications since the demonetization drive was announced. And that's excluding the ordinance which was promulgated today.
I can only say, I'll just correct it. It is 61 instructions issued by the RBI, and that shows that there was no strategy, there was no planning for implementing the demonetization scheme. And if this is a national issue, then how Reserve Bank of India is failing in implementing the national issue in such a non-serious manner? So what is the accountability? What is the corporate governance of Reserve Bank of India? That is exactly being exposed.
Yes.
And now the question is, the entire bureaucracy in the RBI, they must answer all these questions to the nation because their autonomy is also being tinkered by the Ministry of Finance, and Finance Minister, Finance Secretary is overtaking the Governor. So Governor has to reply. One more question I want to ask. How many times during the demonetization scheme, Reserve Bank of India had their board member? And how many board members were present? And as I know, almost 50% board members' positions are vacant in the Reserve Bank of India. So with the Reserve Bank of India board and with the board members of nationalized bank, and in these nationalized banks, why Government of India is not appointing workmen directors and the officer directors, whether Government of India do not want any workers participation in their process of implementation demonetization scheme, whether Reserve Bank of India will not have proper full board to run the Reserve Bank of India.
So
These are
many
the state
questions. So many questions to the Reserve Bank of India, and not a single answer so far. All we've got is 60-odd clarifications since the announcement of the demonetization drive. Mr. Vishwas Utegi, President of the All India Bank Employees Association, thank you so much once again for taking time out to be this year on the Big Story on Magic Bricks Now. And with that, we wrap things up here on the show. This is Krishna Kumar saying goodbye.
You can watch live TV on our website mpnow.in. Find us on Facebook at facebook.com/magicbricksnow. And don't forget to click the like button. You can also follow us on Twitter at magicbricksnow. To stay updated with all our programming, hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel by logging on to youtube.com/magicbricksnow.